Hi guys, welcome to the Halloween Dev Q&A.
Enough to cross Michael's path would suffer. No one knew of the evil that was walking among them. Unreasoning, relentless, evil. But sometimes I think the truth was something much more terrible. I wonder if perhaps Michael is able to actually
Hi
live
Billy,
in the
hi
shadows.
Jason. Hola. Welcome in guys.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first pre-launch stream for Halloween the Game. My name is Miles Dompierre. I'm the social media manager over here at Ilphonic, and today I'm stoked to be joined by Jordan Mathewson, game director over here at Ilphonic.
Design director. You
Design
got the title
director.
wrong on the. Apparently, it's because I didn't update my Slack, so it's kind of on me. But yes, I'm
Yeah,
Jordan,
wow.
design director. Hello.
Jordan, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday, my dude?
I mean, we're in the thick of development, so it's a lot, but this is a very important, first step in just establishing a nice, connection with the community and getting some questions answered. So I'm excited. How about you?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are you feeling tired yet? We're in the final stretch now.
Yeah, it's been a lot, but it's always exciting to see the reception as we release different things out into the wild. Kind of what we're going to talk about today. There's just a lot of little things that just go a long way as people discover them, and it really fuels that energy as we get into the final stretches to make sure that we're covering all of our bases and getting all the little things so that when we launch, it is the best thing we can. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I do want to give a huge shout out to just all the energy and excitement we've seen from the community so far. As you touched on, it's really been infectious for us, especially as we're in this final stretch and seeing everyone so excited about what we're working on and seeing all those burning questions come in because everyone's, at this stage, I feel like they're very ready to play. And while you do have to wait a few
Yeah.
more months, we did want to touch on some of the things you can look forward to with Halloween the game. So we do have a pretty exciting stream lined up for you today. Here's a breakdown of the event agenda. We're going to be diving into single player. We're going to be touching on the heroes of Haddonfield. We're going to be talking about some alternate costumes and cosmetics. We're going to be talking about multiplayer, maps, meta unlocks, Michael versus civilians, and last but certainly not least, our community Q&A. So a lot of stuff to touch on today, and we're excited to have you with us. So we unveiled Halloween the game as a single player and multiplayer horror experience. So I think we should kick things off today by diving into the single player component of this game. So we've given overviews of what this is through hub posts, and as you see on the screen here, an official trailer for our single player story mode. But this is essentially for us like a reimagined alternate extended cut that allows players to experience the night Michael came home from his perspective. And so we're really excited about that. And Jordan, for
Hell
players
yeah.
diving into this for the very first time, what can they expect from the single player story mode?
Yeah, I mean it's been really enjoyable to work with Pollard Studio to construct this. It's always been a big important part of what we want to accomplish with this game because we realize how important this story mode is to a lot of people just to get that sense of what we can explore, but as well give people an opportunity to really get used to and understand the nuances of playing Michael Myers. So we have 6 chapters set up. A lot of this stuff we have, like you'd mentioned, we had
6
written up a good hub
chapters. I
post that
wonder how
really
long
dove
they
into
are.
some of this. But some of the other things, sitting down with the 6 chapters, we do have multiple cinematics that there's clips of it in the trailer that kind of give an idea of what they're going to look like as you go through that tell the story and kind of connect the pieces of these chapters into what our discoveries are behind the scenes of the original film. So it's been a lot of fun piecing that together, and we've also woven a lot of tutorials and helpful moments throughout that really reinforce the different aspects of playing Michael and pieces that are really helpful to learn early on before you jump into the multiplayer. So
Yeah, I think.
yeah, go for it.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, you're good.
Okay, sorry. Each time players are in these chapters, they play through various objectives. They're mostly centered around killing these residents of Haddonfield, while approaching towards the final movies the final scenes of from the film with the babysitters. But there's also some open-ended moments that allow you to explore in a bit more depth and discover everything that each of
Ella,
these places
don't
has to
start.
offer, including some story-based collectibles and other little things. So we've also set up, and a good portion of it does have checkpoints as well, so that you can get in and I'll go into a bit more detail and kind of the replayability factor, but making sure that we're kind of splitting these up and giving you an opportunity to face some of the more challenging moments and be able to restart at an easier point. So that's been a kind of the big summary of all the main gameplay aspects you can expect to see, and it really does lead into trying to reinforce the care we've given to make sure that these are replayable experiences as well, because there isn't a specific right way to do this. It's very much a sandbox approach, as we've done with the multiplayer, and giving the direction and the tools and the main objectives, but allowing you to explore what each situation has to offer.
Yeah, as we've kind of showcased in our trailer here and teased a bit, like one of the most exciting things I think about this is that not only do you get to experience some very iconic moments from the original film that I know fans will be very stoked about, but we also have the rare opportunity to kind of introduce moments that have not been seen in the film. And I think that's a really cool
Ella,
opportunity
I
for
don't even
us.
know
You
if I
touched
want to
on
have my chat on the
replayability a little
screen
bit
with the stuff
here,
that you're
but
saying.
that's something I really kind of want to hone in on is replayability and player rewards have been really core pillars for us and the team when it comes to building this game. So when it comes to the single player story mode, what kind of things can players chase and look forward to by replaying the single player story mode?
Yeah, I mean, there's each chapter we have designated and set up um, multiple different types of approaches to each of the chapters, as well as chapter challenges, kind of that secondary layer of, as you go through these and you kill people in certain ways, there's very specific ways that will unlock that, and give you a cosmetic that will then be usable in multiplayer. So it really lets you explore and discover all of the options in that, and look to find, oh, it's calling this out, I obviously need to figure out how this person needs to die. And then in order to do that, it takes a little bit of time to understand their pathing and what they're doing and where you need to get them close enough to. So, but yeah, like I said, it unlocks those cosmetics, so that you can play through, get those in multiplayer, and show off that you've been able to complete these different challenges we put before the player, and alongside of that, different difficulties, being able to apply kind
Ella,
of
that dude in the
different
top
levels
right
of how
looks like
you're
someone
approaching
you'd
each of these
like.
chapters, in how the AI or the NPCs are responding to you, how that plays out, as well as giving you a really nice layout of scores and ratings, because each time you're completing these chapters, there's a lot of factors of what was possible during the chapter, how did you complete it, was it the way Michael Myers should have completed it, or how he's best known for, and then giving you a rating that you can continually improve on and get better at, all in kind of the idea, like I said, of really training the player to understand the ins and outs of Michael's nuance, so that when it comes to a multiplayer approach, it's not as daunting of an experience. There's a little bit more
What happened?
that you're able
Why
to
did that
learn
piss
from
you
this,
off?
and as well as having that you know the cinematic experience that goes along with
I
it.
just
So
feel like
we're quite
he's like,
excited.
your vibe.
Yeah, and as we've showcased at this stage, Michael's kit is very diverse. He has a lot of tools at his disposal, and some of those tools are very unique to this game. And so, yeah, that story mode also kind of reinforces like the introduction to all those skills and how to use them. And I
Hmm.
think that'll be really exciting. So players can go into the multiplayer experience with a good understanding of how to be the best Michael they can be.
So if he cut his hair,
Yep.
you'd make an exception?
One other
Ah,
thing I did want to
okay.
call out that in addition to the single player
Interesting.
story mode, players will be able to go into solo or single player matches as Michael as well. So you can again further hone your skills, further get some practice, and murder as many residents as you possibly can imagine. So, in addition to playing as Michael Myers in the single player story mode,
Hell yeah,
our
Jason.
single player story mode also features our
Then
cast
you'll
of
take
new,
both.
original, and returning legacy characters. They will be
Look,
featured
look,
in here.
Ellis, the
And I
big
did want to
thick
give a quick
bitch.
recap for those unaware of the amount of characters that we've showcased so far. But earlier this year, we started kind of introducing our community to these civilians, starting with the heroes of Haddonfield here. We have Tanya Harrison on the left, Rachel Callahan, Thomas Armitage, Jennifer Aarons, and Marcus
Armitage.
Navarro.
What the hell?
After that, we introduced
You
players
take those
to
two, I'll take all the characters.
our boy
Ella.
Eric Dunn, the loyal Nichols Hardware employee ahead of our single-player trailer. And most recently, we confirmed that Bob Sims, Linda Vanderklok, Laurie Strode, and Annie Brackett would also be heading
I'll
to
take
this
them
game,
too, Ella.
with some exciting reimagined designs. So we have a 10 playable characters confirmed for the standard edition on day 1, which is pretty awesome. All 10 of these characters will be featured in the game's single-player story mode.
I mean, I guess that's not that crazy.
And
That's
if you
pretty
splurge
standard,
and
I
get the
guess.
digital deluxe edition, we have also confirmed that Richard Hawthorne and Alexis Purcell will be available on day 1 as well, bringing that roster to
Who the hell are those
12.
people?
12 characters.
I'm still
Jordan.
wondering who's going to buy it for me.
That's a lot of characters here.
Who's
what are
buying
the
it
team's
for me?
hopes and
Like,
goals
my
with
birthday's
launching
2
the
days
game
after
with this
this, so
roster?
who's
Well, there's
buying me the
definitely
game?
kind of two
I shouldn't have to
approaches.
buy
Like,
this for myself.
obviously, when we first started the
One of
project,
y'all
we
should be
realized
buying
how
it. Somebody should be
crucial
buying this for
this
me.
was as part of this type of experience. We've always seen there's been a deep connection between horror fans and
I'm
just
sticking to
the
that.
victims of these films, and it makes sense. And there's a lot of just you know, things you can take from the charisma and personality. So it's something where we really wanted to expand all these characters and make sure that they were fully voiced and have these backstories as far as who they are, what
You
their
want to be the hottest one?
what their
Well, they're all
personalities
hot.
are, what they would act like, so that
All of
we
the
could
girls
then
are, at
build off of
least.
that for what their options are for cosmetics that we'll obviously get into, as well as what they're doing in the single player, where they are, what they're up to at any given point when Michael's encountering them. So it's something that was really exciting to expand on the already kind of list of legacy characters into something where we made more of these 1978 people that live in this town of Haddonfield. So it was very exciting to craft that, as well as then
Yeah,
go into
Jason,
detail
I hope
of
I
all
get
the
it too.
gameplay aspects, which there's
Because
so much
I'm
more
sticking to
to
what I said.
we'll dive
I
into
shouldn't
over
have to
time.
buy
But
this.
we've already mentioned characters will have traits, little things that give them uniqueness over each other and what they're doing, as well as attributes that are built towards the characters themselves. There's been a lot of just kind of you can look at the gameplay if you see what's happening and see all the places and guess kind of the direction each of these characters
Hey,
are going
Knock,
to
welcome
go.
in.
When someone excels at repairing things, or someone excels at just talking to people and interacting, some people might not excel at
I want the
those
deluxe
things. So we
version,
really
by
want
the
to
way.
do a nice push and pull that also gave characters people could connect with
That
and
shouldn't
have
even be a
fun with,
question.
because part of this is a very social game. It's about interacting with each other. It's about interacting with other people, and then ultimately watching these people
Demona would say,
die. And
interact these.
sometimes those screams are just a little bit more enjoyable when you know the
Ella,
the
look, your
people
bae
that
is
are
laughing.
behind them.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things about this game, is just running through the streets of Haddonfield and then just hearing a scream in the distance and then wondering whether or not, like, oh no, is that my squad mate? Somebody
Yeah.
I love is getting murdered right now.
It's eerie, but it's so crucial to that experience, and I've loved it so far.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Crucial
reiterated on that,
Ds.
because yeah, we have touched on the fact that there will be unique reasons from a gameplay standpoint to choose these characters. But as you touched on, we also understand that people really connect to the looks and the personalities of these characters. So
Honestly,
I think that
fuck
combination
that.
of the
They should be
story
giving
mode
me the game for
into
free.
multiplayer will really give a great view of like who these people are and give players opportunities to get in there
Ilphonic
and
and
role
Gun
play
should be
their own
giving
little
me the
horror
game for
movies.
free.
Mm-hmm.
As much
So
as
one
I've
thing we haven't
played
really
their shit and
touched on at
promoted
this
them.
stage is we have
Suck this
introduced you
ass.
to these 10 and 12 civilian characters, but we've only shown you their default multiplayer appearances, which means we haven't really
Oh
shown
my
the
gosh,
community
wait.
how they look in the single player story mode, which is notably different. Jordan, what do you think? Should we show off some of these alternate looks for these characters?
You're gonna
I
go
know
to
I'm
do
gonna
it
get the new
without
game,
my
Jason, but
approval.
who's gonna get it for
You're
me?
damn right I
Hi,
So
Ashley.
first up, we have Rachel
She's 4.
Callahan in all her goth glory here.
She's
Oh
hot.
yeah, I mean I know Rachel is a fan favorite. A lot
I'm
of
gonna
people in the
play as
community have,
her.
gravitated towards Rachel, and I get it. She is awesome. Up next, we have
Ella's gonna be the
Marcus
blonde, of
Navarro
course.
strutting his. Ooh, look at that! His badass biker gear. He's
He looks
looking
lame.
good. He's got the
I don't like
tore
this
up
outfit.
jeans. Stoked about that. And last but certainly not least, we have an iconic movie look for Annie here. Oh, yeah, look at that! Look at that shawl. Look at that shawl.
One of y'all can be her.
So yeah,
I'm good.
we are very excited
I
about
want to be her.
the customization, the alternate outfits,
She's
all
hot.
the ways players can express themselves in Halloween the game. One thing I wanted to kind of touch base with the community on is kind of like our approach, considering the fact
Hey,
that
my
we
birthday's
are,
2 days before this.
we are
or
in
2 days
Halloween
after
1.
this.
Things are based on
So
the
there's
original
no
film.
excuse.
That means we're set in the 70s.
Somebody's buying
What's
me
our
this
team's
shit,
approach to
or I'm getting it for
respecting that
free.
period,
Speaking it
respecting
into
the
existence
IP,
now.
but also giving players, freedom to dress as they wish.
Yeah, I mean that's a big
Wait, can
part
we
of
change our
just
outfits, like
these
our tops
characters
and
in
bottoms?
general,
That'd be
is
cool.
trying to find and exist in a realm of reality of this Haddonfield back in 1978, while really leaning into what makes each
Ella,
of
you can
these
be
their
Ashley
backstories
Tisdale.
unique. What kind of things are
That
they up to
outfit
on
is
a
not
daily
cute.
basis, and
I know it's
kind
probably
of
because she's at
emulated
home
in the same
chilling,
way
but
we see the
nah.
babysitters from the movie and kind of what they're up to. So we wanted to lean into that, but also we've got a lot of effort into making sure that everything aligns, in a grounded space around this time period.
I don't care for
but there's also
his
just
hair is like
expression,
throwing
and we
me
want to make
off
sure that there's a very nice balance that
with that
moving
fit.
forward, and everything that you'll
Very
see moving
fabulous.
forward in the other outfits. This is obviously just a taste, where other characters will get similar.
I want fabulous.
So it's gonna be fun, and a lot
I
of
was
the
like,
things
what's
that
wrong with her? Yeah,
we'll
that fit
put
isn't cute.
will make sense for the characters to wear in the time frame and period.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked like what the scope of customization is, so we did want to touch on the things that you can customize. So obviously there will be alternate outfits. You'll also be able to customize civilians' hair, their eyewear, and their makeup and blemishes as well, which is very exciting. So in addition to these looks, there are multiple looks for all the civilians the players can chase down, which is exciting. So you will have a lot of
like her
opportunities to
outfit,
really
Nook?
change the way these characters look in really meaningful ways. But it's not just all about the civilians, all right? We got our boy Michael, the star of the show, arguably.
Ella,
and we did
calm
want to
down,
touch on some
I
of
know you're about to say some
the
unhinged
ways you
shit.
can customize the appearance of Michael Myers. Ka-choo. We have shown smaller glimpses of these skins, but we have
Is this Savini?
a look at 2 cosmetics that you can earn in-game for Michael
Is this
Myers.
Savini?
Right here we have the Sam Hain Michael.
Oh, that's the same
looking,
Sam Hain.
looking badass
Okay.
and ready for bloodshed here. And then we also have little clown Michael.
Those are ugly.
Up. So yeah, there's going to be ways. Again, Michael has a very iconic look. That mask is legendary, but there are going to be some really cool things that you can chase down. I hate to be a tease, but we do have some looks I think fans of the original film are going to be incredibly stoked about at launch. So look forward to more. Unfortunately, for some of that, we're not really going to show you. So I'm just going to tease you for now. Before we dive into the multiplayer segment, I did want to call out that we will be touching on some of the other items that players can unlock and earn outside of alternate outfits in the stream as well. So stick around. But for now,
nah, the goth chick looks hotter than
let's
that.
talk some multiplayer. We've shown off all the amazing looks you can bring into multiplayer, but I think it's important we dive into the core multiplayer mode for Halloween the game. And we've dropped a multiplayer overview, and we did our best to kind of showcase what makes this game unique and special. But there are so many pieces to this game, Jordan, that I feel like you really need to hammer on. What's the unique
he looks better
hook
with his
with
hair
Halloween
like
the
that.
game as a studio that's been in the asymmetrical horror space for quite some time now?
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of being able to explore this genre
Her
more,
ass
because the
is
asymmetrical games that
ginormous.
we've made and the asymmetrical games that exist, I feel it's really
I
just
mean, really,
scratching the
all of their
surface,
asses
and
are.
the
Look at their
opportunities
asses.
that there are there, especially with just the capabilities of our time now and the technology. There's just so much more to explore. So it's been very fun to really lean into all the pieces that we've learned in the past, that we designed and structured this game around to make it unique. I believe the what we've done with Michael and who he is as a killer
Facts,
role in
Tim.
this is so impactful to what this game offers, and the abilities, the shape jump obviously being a huge one, is being able to give players the opportunity to be the drivers of jump scares, and being able to sneak up and truly surprise and freak people out. It's something that happened very early on as a goal for us to establish, but we really worked hard to make sure that when we went to PAX and we started actually seeing people dive in, that we were witnessing it, and it came forward there too. And the people that have seen a lot of the footage of just more shape jump, you start to see where it becomes a very skilled, unique process to get it in and around and in front of people, around them, getting to different places to stock. It just creates a very unique experience that is constantly driving forward the tension of the match. And we just continue in playtest to see these amazing moments take place, and they're never quite the same because of then the additional layers of this sandbox as a whole. Having these NPCs enters this entire new realm of possibility, that gives players more to feed on, as far as just boosting approaching them in a way that they're now beefing you up to fight on, and score more points, and wreak more havoc in
Ella,
Haddonfield.
that's
But they're
Temp right
also
there.
very much reactive
Temp's
to
that
both
dude.
sides. So there's a lot that can be done with where you're saving NPCs and trying to stay connected with them to get them out of the maps, while Michael is chasing you all down, and breaking you up and catching your friends. And there's just so much uniqueness that comes from that combination. And like you said, there's a cocktail of just so many other things that just add those layers upon layers of possibility to encounters. So it becomes a nice consistent loop that also not devolves evolves expands into a lot of different crazy situations. So there's so much there that's been happening, and that will continue to happen once we go live. And I'm so excited to see all the different things people do, and all the different ways that we can continue to improve this even. So it's been fun to continue this asymmetrical genre forward, and I look forward to exploring even more of what that means. Yeah, I think that's the biggest things right there.
Yeah, and I think for us, the proof of concept has been a lot of our internal playtests, where we have people who've played for hundreds and hundreds of hours getting in there
No!
and scaring each
Jason,
other, and
this
having
game is
those
nothing
moments
like
where Michael
TCM.
just gets the jump on you. You're doing
Don't
something
lie
else,
again.
you feel that moment of safety and security, and then that shifts, and he's just there. And being able to jump after so much playtime is just such a testament to that foundation that we built
This
here.
game is nothing
And I
like
think our
TCM.
sandbox
This game doesn't have
elements
Johnny in it.
really kind of add a lot of rich layers that let players choose how they want to play this game. And there's been so many moments in our playtests where just absolute chaos ensues with a group, and Michael enters the scene. Everyone scatters, whether it's on a bike, whether it's on a car, and there's just so much pandemonium, just like quintessential
Jason.
classic horror movie moments.
Jason,
And that's the
you're
stuff
killing me.
I'm so stoked to see when this game is out in the wild.
I agree.
So some other outside of the core multiplayer
I'm
experience,
just
outside of
joking,
matchmaking,
Jason.
I do want to just kind of quickly rattle through some and confirm some features.
I'm
Some of
just
these we've already
joking.
touched on previously, but outside of matchmaking, you will be able to load into private matches with up to 5 players, play with your friends. We are going to allow duplicate civilians, so don't worry if someone chooses your main. Even though we do have a pretty robust roster, if you want to stack that lobby, that's fine. We're going to allow duplicates, which is awesome.
I don't like that.
And we
I don't
will
want to
also
be
have
running
an
around with
in-games friends list
5 of
and
the same
crossplay,
people.
for this as
That's
well.
stupid.
I did want to call out cross progression because we've had some questions about that. We don't currently have plans for cross progression, but there will be cross play available on all platforms. Jordan, anything else we want to touch on in multiplayer?
I think, yeah, last thing, just to acknowledge and say the queuing. We understand there's importance around addressing that, and we will talk about it at a later date, closer to launch, because we know that it obviously is a big part of
Who's
how
gonna be
people play
smoking
these
weed in the
games, and
game?
we've been just gathering a lot of
Guys,
that
you can smoke
experience
weed in
and
this game
just making sure we're getting the right thing there. And
to
I want to
calm
make sure we
yourself
have that
down.
all
So who's
in a
gonna be
good
puff
spot
puffing
to
passing?
give the details and really walk through it so people are very
What's
much
kind of
aligned
weird,
with it.
Knock?
But then additionally, we
Knock,
want to make sure that
I'm
we're
not
not splitting up
seeing you pop
parties.
up in my
I think
actual
that's just kind
chat.
of
It's kind of
something that's kind
weird.
of in tandem there that I think is good to call out for that situation.
Yeah, and that is very important. If a squad groups together, they don't have to worry about being separated in the matchmaking pool, which is I know very important for a lot of people. So appreciate you touching on that. And like you said, as we get closer to launch, we'll have some more details to share on specifically what that looks like.
Of course.
All right, so in
Yeah, I'm
addition
definitely gonna be jump
to
scaring people. That's
12
fun.
playable civilian characters, we've also shown 3 distinct maps that all your multiplayer shenanigans will unfold in, and that all started with
I hope the maps
Haddonfield
look kind of
Heights,
different
the
though.
quiet
Like,
suburban neighborhood,
I hope they don't all look like the
which
same
is
shit, but
home
just
to the Myers house and the
slightly
Strode
different.
house. We have Haddonfield Town Center, which is home to Nichols Hardware and the bustling cultural downtown of Haddonfield. And we also have Orange Grove Estates, which is the upscale neighborhood home to the Wallace and Doyle residences. So, Jordan, outside of unique visual flavor, how are we ensuring that each of these maps look and feel distinct?
I want to know. I want to know.
Yeah,
about
this has been something that has been a big improvement part on it, like something we've really driven to expand on for this game. There's kind of a fundamental starting point of we need to build Haddonfield from 1978. There's a guiding light there as far as what we were trying to accomplish, but that's from an aesthetic point. It also comes into the gameplay in a
guiding
sense that a lot
these.
of the things that we're designing from the sandbox perspective is trying to think about the possibilities of what it's like to actually run around a neighborhood. There's a lot of times from my childhood I can remember, I
My
wasn't
piss
alive
hole
in
is
the
starting to
70s,
fill up,
but
guys.
I did have time when I was growing up where I lived in the Midwest. I was very familiar with just the culture of being outside and getting in trouble and being a pyromaniac with fireworks and various things that I got up to. So I wanted to make sure
Hell
that
yeah,
we were
Jason, you're
recreating
right.
what it felt like to do that, which then in turn had to make sure that the look, the spacing, the feel of the actual neighborhood needs to make sense as we expand into more commercially kind of influenced areas. Like all these pieces need to fit what would exist in Illinois in the 70s. And then as we looked at that and got kind of that really good sense of the types of locations, it was about really breaking down the types of structures, because the types of structures are a big part of the
Hell yeah,
gameplay.
Jason.
There's Once you look
You
at it,
right,
there's
you right.
obviously a very big difference between external
You're
outside
welcome.
gameplay and internal structure gameplay. So each of these maps has different types of structures. Some of them have houses. There's varying degrees of single story. There's second story houses.
I didn't even see that you
There's
said
bigger
that,
commercial
Ashley.
buildings. There's
Enough
other
of these
types
civilians.
of
Where's
places
Johnny?
that just create different types of situations,
Facts.
but ultimately have the same gameplay elements. So we've been able to really shuffle around and build unique spacing and locations while using a lot of the
Etch and
same
sketch. Hi,
aspects that
Zen.
make it feel like a neighborhood, but also
Etch
leveraging
and
things like I
sketch.
mentioned. Second story houses is a
Did any of you
it's a
guys have an
huge
etch
thing
and
for
sketch?
gameplay, because now you've got a whole dynamic where there is a second
I
story
did.
window you can jump out of,
I had a red
or a
one.
balcony you can leap off of, that creates a final moment of, this is going to hurt, but at least I breathe another few seconds. So that in between the different spacing, there's
Me
car
too.
densities, there's hedges, fences, foliage,
Oh yeah.
roads, street lights. The lighting is obviously a big portion, just because of the fact that Michael relies on, that is
I
obviously
liked
a
shaking it.
bad thing for his traversal. And in portions where he's trying to navigate through that, lit up areas are much more difficult to navigate. So there's definitely a size difference amongst these different maps,
A
as well
size
as just
difference.
spacing and kind of layout
The bigger,
differences
the
that make
better.
a really unique approach to it each time, that is additionally flavored with the visual aspects that make these locations different each time. So it's very, very fun to be able to have this type of variety, so that each time you're playing, there's a
This
lot to
type of
explore
what?
and learn about these. It's not going to be something
Say
you're
that
gonna
again.
there's map knowledge that needs to be learned from where you need to
Say
go and
that
where you
word
can get
again.
through fences and where the nearest phone location is going to be. There's just a lot of little things like that, on top of the fact that we have randomized a lot of gameplay throughout that
Mookie
as well,
scared
to
you?
just
He
further
scares me
increase
too.
the just
Just seeing
feel
him
that these are
scares
different
me.
each time you play them. So hopefully that kind of boils down to what we're looking at, but that's how I see these from what
Mookie's
we've
always
developed.
catching strays, dude.
Yeah, I know the team was very excited to reveal Orange Grove Estates because there's some really great verticality to that map. Not only the
Mhm.
multi-story houses, but as you can tell in that fly-through, there is this big hill in one section of the map that overlooks the lower section, and it's got this great
Oh,
flow
that's
and
cool.
energy, and it affects line of sight. And with
The park
Michael,
too,
Yeah,
like
people
that
were
yeah,
open
talented
space
with
is
that.
big. Yeah.
and
I
Michael's
can't even
ability to
draw
just
with a
like
pencil though,
stare
so
people
you know I
down, like
couldn't do
that line
much
of
with
sight is
that.
so important to the
I would just
design.
make
And I think
lines and
our
hope for
level
the
design
best.
team has really done a great job making these landscapes, well, true to the period, true to the state, feel very distinct from a gameplay
Oh,
perspective.
there's the amount of like Hunter, our lead level designer, he has the references that he compiled of just like plain imagery from the time, and things to just like really understand the true inner workings of Midwestern culture and layouts and infrastructure. Like there's so much that goes into that, but at the end of the day, it comes forward in a
Where
very
does this take place?
nuanced place where you don't even think about it. It's kind of second nature to a lot of us to walk through these places and see them occupied, and we really wanted to make sure that that was coming through.
Perfect. Yeah, I think players are going to be very excited when they get to really explore these play spaces for themselves.
Hmm.
And another wrinkle that we have added to this game to ensure that feeling between matches stays very fresh and unique is that we have variable weather effects. So between matches, there are different weather conditions that
Okay,
you'll see.
nice.
So when you load into a map, every single map has the opportunity to have a different weather effect.
Every
And
single
it
map.
changes not only
Okay.
the look and feel of the game, but just kind of the energy.
So it could be
And
rain,
so,
but
what
is there
elements in
anything
your
else?
eyes does this system add to the overall experience for the player?
There has to be something else other than just
So
rain.
the different aspects are pretty straightforward in that it's something, it's different for your senses. It creates an entirely different ambiance for these locations. Being inside of a house when it's raining is that pitter patter of the rain muffled outside, and seeing it run down the windows, that type of stuff is just, it changes the look,
Fog.
but it
Yeah,
also
that's a
makes it
good
harder
one.
to see distances. The wind and the what that does to the
The
foliage
hell is this ad?
creates tougher visual connection points as the players are scanning these
I don't want to hear
locations. So
about gun
they can
injuries
really
and
kind of
death.
add
I want
that
to hear
layer,
about
as
people
well as just
stabbing
being
each other.
louder and being something that you're not always going to pick up the footsteps or the breathing of Michael in every situation. So it definitely puts you on your toes, and gives you a little something to switch up each of these. And once again, we've tried to keep this grounded in Illinois 1978. Let's try and look at weather patterns at a rough level, just to see kind of what would actually be happening there, and keep it as close as we can, while also
But I
giving
want to
this
play in
layer
snow.
that allows players to experience
Oh,
these
I wonder
levels
if
in
they're
a
gonna have
different
like
state.
There
seasonal
is
like
something very
updates, like for
very awesome about
Christmas.
seeing
Is it gonna
Michael
be
just
like
standing in the rain, just that
Christmassy?
shadowy shape
Drenched.
off in the distance, just drenched in the rain. There's
Yeah.
yeah, and you saw it in our
So he
multiplayer
likes
overview trailer.
when Michael Myers
We were
is
very
wet.
excited about showcasing like how tough he looks in that situation. So yeah, there's some great flavor to that.
Hmm.
All right, up next, we are going to talk a bit about meta unlocks. We do have plans to have a more
I'm very
in-depth
interested in
overview
hearing
ahead of
about
launch,
this.
but we did want to spend some time today talking about some of the other pieces that you can unlock in this game outside of alternate outfits. And we're going to start with profile icons, profile
Ooh.
backgrounds, titles, and player cards.
Wait, those are like kind of
So
ugly
in
though.
Halloween
But
the game,
ooh.
players are going to have the opportunity to
Was
unlock
this made with
these
fucking
items
AI?
by
This
completing
looks like
various
shit.
challenges and customize
Of course
their own
there's an
profile
eyeball.
cards, which again is
Nocturne,
an
there's an
added layer of
eyeball.
customization within this experience. Jordan, I know our team is working very hard to
This was made with
provide
AI.
as many rewards as possible in this experience. So outside of something like profile icons, backgrounds, what other layers are we adding to that chase and that hook for Halloween the game?
Yeah, I mean,
Different sound
this
effects.
has always been a fun part. I've been a part of most of our meta meta progression kind of build outs
That's cool though.
over time.
I like
For
that.
this one, trying to keep it focused on the big things that'll kind of drive forward
Bro,
a lot of
these
stuff.
look like they
we have
these look like
profile
fucking AI
level
to me.
that is an overall
This
tracker
does
on
not
your profile.
look like something
We'll have,
somebody
a
designed,
killer Michael
like an
Myers
actual
specific
human.
level.
Looks.
We'll have
I
each
mean, if
civilian
they
will
did,
have
then
their
I
own
apologize,
levels.
but
Each of these are gained by obviously playing with those characters, and then as well as
I don't know.
starting weapon levels for Michael. He'll be able to select a starting weapon after unlocking them with the correct killer level, of course, and then be able to level those weapons up as he's using them, which unlocks other things I'll get to in a second. We have a lot of progressive challenges for each of the different killer skins, as well as each of the different civilians. So each of those have progressive steps to challenges. So you have to complete one to complete the next, and we'll load in unlocks throughout those different things to really focus on, I'm playing this character, I'm going to unlock a lot of things in relation to that, as well as sprinkling in things like the profile cards and banners and giving you things unique to that experience. Passive challenges as well, just kind of an overall just tracker of a lot of your different things that are pretty common. We've set up different books for the different sides that kind of give you a lot of different opportunities to test and play a lot of the different features and unlock more things that you can then customize
wow,
further.
I was muted. I
That's
said
kind of
my piss hole is full. I'll be back. Let me know if they say something interesting. Okay, I'll be back.
But there's also things like experience that you'll get, as well as different executions, tints, and things, and for Michael especially, and his weapons. And then also we have an in-game currency. And that kind of goes into something that I'm not going to get into too deep here, because this is kind of a part of and will be fleshed out in Miles. As he had mentioned, the kind of going over more of this metagame stuff. But civilian perks, we've definitely shown and given pretty, they've been in all the gameplay. You've seen them, we've mentioned them, and we want to make sure that we get a nice solid dive into those. But essentially at a high level, they are, you have a perk inventory on your menu that you'll be able to roll for perks and get different perks that you can then equip to decks. And those decks are what you equip to your characters going in, so that is what, when you're earning those perks in game, that's where it's drawing from. Because there's just a lot of things we wanted to make sure are not getting too competitive, and this is one of those aspects where we feel like we can take a nice casualized approach to it and make sure it remains in a fair category for the use cases. So we'll dive into those more later, but you earn currency, you use that to bolster your perk decks, kind of build those up, make them what you need them for your different situations. You equip them to your different characters and jump in to try and survive. So there's kind of the big things that I can think of besides all the cosmetics and things. There's just a lot to unlock everywhere. So we're really
Okay, I'm
excited
back.
to see people jump in.
Did they say anything crazy?
And we want to definitely put some of those really
My piss
special
hole has been
Michael
emptied.
skins and different things that we feel are noteworthy. We want to make sure we put them in a place that is rewarding to get to, and you can be in multiplayer and brag about the fact that you got here. Make sure people see that and really know that, oh wow, this person went to these lengths to get that, because that's going to be very, very impactful.
I mean, I kind of
and
figured
crucial
they'd have
to
that,
the multiplayer peacocking experience that we all know and love.
Peacocking.
Yeah, we definitely want some unlocks that you can bring into the lobby and just flex. We've joked about how we want
we want those items
that when you see in the lobby, you say, "Oh
Oh yeah.
no, I know exactly how much this person's played
Fear.
Halloween the game," and just increasing that level of fear. So yeah, as you touched on, there are a lot of systems and layers to the overall meta game in Halloween the game. And because of that, like I touched on, we are going to break those out more specifically. But I think it was important to really touch on high level all the things you can look forward to. And there are a lot of elements that are going to give you stuff to kind of chase and earn and feel good every time you play this game. So the next section we're going to dive into are some of the dynamics between Michael versus civilians when it comes to
I don't want
abilities
any
and
tissues.
that back and forth. We've showcased quite a bit of Michael's kit at this stage: shape jump, killer sense, reality tear, detection pulse,
Reality
blackout.
tear.
There have been a lot of pieces that we've shown, and we want to spend some time kind of reiterating what
the
that means
hell?
for the overall player experience, showing off new ways you can use those, and then kind of, discussing a little bit of the back and forth between Michael and civilians. So at PAX earlier this year, we let players go hands-on. As Jordan touched on, people got to play this game for the first time. They got to use detection pulse. They got to try shape jump. They got to really go hands-on with Michael to get a feel for that. What you'll notice in this clip that we're running here is some differences if you played at PAX or if you saw footage from PAX when it comes to detection pulse and shape jump and how they operate.
Hell no.
So Jordan, I thought
That's
this
so
was a great opportunity for us to
creepy.
kind of really speak to, how
That's
a player
so
would
creepy.
use detection pulse and shape jump to put pressure on
He
civilians.
can just go through the damn wall and just be in the house and you won't even fucking know.
Could fight back against that.
Yeah, it was really great to see people play the game and just that sense of understanding how powerful
That's
different
so
things
creepy.
are. We had our own ideas and kind of understandings from playtesting as to where things were going, and we had kind of established those routes for where we were going to step next. But ultimately, we wanted to see everything in action at PAX before we made any big moves. But being able to see it confirmed pretty much everything we were feeling,
That's
which is
fucking
always a
creepy.
good feeling, of course, that you're on the right track. But
No.
essentially, it came down to really
I don't like how the
refining
red is behind him.
detection pulse was working for one. It was very
That's just something I
powerful. It
noticed.
was marking people
That's
and
gonna bother me
isolating them
slightly.
regardless of where they were. There was
And if you
just a
guys don't
lot
know
of
what I'm
power
talking
in
about, I'll
how
show
it
you
was
the next
allowing
time
him
they
to
loop this
detect and
clip.
get close to people. So we wanted to make sure that this
They're
allowed for a
facts.
couple layers.
See, watch
One
this, watch
being
this, watch
the fact
this.
that inside of a structure, it
Watch when he
marks the
turns to the
structure
house,
instead
the
of your
red is like
specific location.
behind
We
him.
felt it was
I don't
very
like that.
important that
I feel like
Michael
it should be
had
in front of him.
to understand that they're in something, but now that they're in
That
there,
looks weird.
he's got to get in up close, figure out what part of the house they're in, and then actually do his thing. So that was a big balance. There's also been some more work into
I don't feel like that
allowing
looks right.
you to find the blind spots as a civilian.
The
so
red
that
shouldn't
when
be
you
overlapping
are aware that
his
detection
body.
pulse is happening,
It should
there's a
be
few things you're going to be able to do to kind of
like
avoid
right
or
here.
at least deter the
That doesn't look
outline
right.
that's placed on you to try and avoid and evade that. I believe the one other thing we did is when you're inside of a house and trigger it, once again, it still is just showing you that there's someone in there rather than giving you the exact location. So there's safety in houses, and that was the kind of next big part of this.
Well, at least there's NPCs. I'm gonna use them as
how there
teammate
was a
bait.
little bit too much accessibility in that build into houses.
I'm gonna hide
You
behind
were
Billy
able to phase through any wall
and
or
Ashley.
any door and window. That was just a little bit too easy access. It was not giving us that, oh, he's outside. Like we have
I'm just
35
being
seconds
honest.
or 45
so
seconds
far,
until he
I feel
figures out how
like
to shut the power
Gun.
and get in or find an opening.
I feel like their
It
live
was
streams
so
were
he
more
was just in
interesting
there already. So we definitely wanted to make sure that as you get inside these
because
houses,
they
turn
like
on the
really
lights,
got
you're
into
safe
like
for a little bit. It's not
the
the
features
entire
more.
time, but at least gives you this reprieve so that you can loot really quick, find a hiding spot,
and like
maybe
why
recruit
they
somebody really fast to help you
made
fight
certain
back.
features the
there's
way they
just
did.
multiple things that we wanted to give that
I'm not
breathing
getting
room.
enough
So we
of that
blocked
from this
off
stream so
any
far.
window or door that is under the influence of light in a room. So you can see that Michael found a
They should have
room
just
that
let
wasn't
Gun
lit,
do the live
that
stream.
he was able to get inside
Aren't
this
they the
laundry room.
co-publisher?
So
Okay,
civilians
then.
that are knowing that
They're
he's
better at
chasing
this
you,
shit.
you close the door, you lock the doors, you make sure all the lights are on. That's your layer of protection from the brief amount of time you're going to get to get out of there and make a move. So it's really added this, it's really worked out nicely for what we've added, and I'm excited to see it in action. It really paces through the encounters better, and then gives Michael another thought process of, do I really feel like it's necessary to chase this person? There's going to be some
How many
choices there
fucking
that
times am I gonna
maybe
have to
that's enough
watch
to
this
deter
damn
him for
clip
a
with
little
this
bit, and he
red
goes
shit?
elsewhere to find another target.
I want to see
So there's
something
been a
new
lot that
now.
we've gone into making sure that these are feeling solid and also play very nicely together, and we can also get a little bit more, we'll walk through eventually more of the countermeasures and things that civilians can take to prevent these things from happening, fight back a little bit more.
It really gives civilian players a false sense of security, I think, and it really kind of feeds into that goal of creating that immersive horror movie experience. Because in
It
this
don't give me
example
a
here, you're
false
seeing
sense of
Michael
nothing. Y'all
scan
done
the front of
already
the
showed he
house.
can
You're
go
seeing
through
the
the
visual
walls.
feedback.
That's
These
all I
lights are
needed
on
to
in
see.
here, which means I can't pass through
I
there.
won't feel safe anywhere now.
So as a civilian, you're in that house. You've turned on all the lights. You've locked the doors.
Yeah,
You think
he
you're
is
safe.
actually.
Oh no, you forgot to turn on this light, and Michael's inside the house. And so like those kind of moments, again, while the houses feel more like a fortress and they feel like you're safe inside these walls, you're never really safe if you're not playing your cards right. So I think that's a really fun dynamic.
Yep.
They should talk
It's
more about
been
how you
playing
can play
really
your
well.
cards right.
I've been enjoying it, and the
Like,
moments that come out
how
of it
can
are
I,
just consistently
what can
good
I do to
because you just
ensure I
never know
stay as
what's going to
safe as
happen, and it
possible?
usually leads to me jumping
Aside
out of a
from just being
window
stealthy.
because that's the best,
I
most
don't know. They
stylish
just
way
keep
to
looping
get out of
this. And I understand this is what
Michael's
they're
path.
talking about, but
I
y'all
mean,
don't have any
blasting
other
through a
clips
window,
of
it feels
this
good
kind of
every
stuff?
time. You know?
Oh yeah, every time hurts, but whatever.
So another ability we demonstrated at PAX East, but we haven't really touched on officially. We haven't really communicated this much outside of it was something that existed in the PAX build, was an ability called Shape Slip. So we're going to run a clip
Shape
here that
slip.
shows Michael walking up to a house, looking into a window. Again, lights are off. Somebody made a mistake. There's a civilian running back and forth. We have the noise pings. He sees a closet. You see that highlight. From there, he's able to shape slip inside of this closet and then get the jump on the civilian inside. So, Jordan,
How the fuck
let's
are you
talk a little bit
supposed
more
to
about shape slip and
combat
again, how
that?
we're using that to leverage our ultimate jump scare machine
I'm never
here.
playing civilian. I'm only
Yeah,
playing Michael. Fuck that.
I really watched closely. I wanted to see if anyone found it at PAX because I was like, okay, someone's got to see this. I think in one of the original multiplayer videos, I think in one of the shots, the reticle
I'm
appears
just
and
playing
the image
Michael.
appears for a second. I don't think anyone caught it, but this is one of his really powerful pieces of shape jump. Like we have shape dash, which has that quick move forward and gets you maneuvering pretty quickly. But shape slip gives you the opportunity to really get into a place fast. Additionally, through killer sense, so you can shape slip in shape jump. So if you're in shape jump and you're moving
I wonder
around,
if he can
you
only
see a
do
hiding
it if
spot
there's
that's a
somebody
little ways
being
away, you
loud
aim at
around
it,
that
and you can
area.
jump into it. But then if you're in killer sense, the first person view, obviously you're not being looked at by anyone, all those same conditions, shape slip will bring you in there and get you into that hiding spot. And those hiding spots are all around the map. There's car doors that you can use out in the open. There's different tool sheds and all the different hiding spots throughout houses. Like if you can find that visual connection to it, you're going to be able to shape slip into it and allow you to jump out and really scare people, especially if they're running towards that hiding spot and you get in there before them. Like that, there's some gold that happens in those types of situations. So it's powerful. It's got a cooldown to make sure it's not overly abused in that way, but it's led to a lot of really good
Right.
situations and continues to fuel that ultimate jump scare
It seems
machine
there
that
isn't
we're
much to
building.
the game.
Yes, absolutely. So, like you said, we were lurking at PAX East, waiting and watching to see. There's two things: shape slip, and then we had the flamingo execution that I was just
Shape
waiting,
slip doesn't sound right
waiting
to
all
me.
PAX East. I did see a couple, so I was like, okay, perfect. But yeah, I do want to give out a huge shout out to everyone who joined us at PAX East as well. It was a really great opportunity for the team. We met so many excited players, and we got to see those kind of jump scare moments in person and see people
I'm kind of
literally
curious to see.
scream
Let me
out
see
loud
something.
while playing this game. And
I'm
as you
kind of
touched on, I
curious
think
to
that
see
kind
what
of
people are saying
reinforces a lot of the
in the
goals the team
chat.
has. But again, really grateful for all the people who came out, played, left feedback, and kind of joined us for that experience. One more Michael ability we want to kind of reinforce here, and we've shown this ability taking out a fleeing car, and that is the blackout
They're arguing
ability.
about
This is a very
homosexuality in
versatile
the chat.
move in Michael's kit. So not only can it shut off lights, kill flashlights, kill automobiles. As you'll see in this clip here, there's a civilian inside the house. Oh, the door's open. I'm going to make a break for it. I'm going to sprint
How do we even get
outside.
on this damn
Michael
topic?
says, no, I'm sorry. Blackout ability closes that door, temporarily locks the
They're
door,
talking about
and then
Connie.
gives Michael that chance to close
Gun
the
is
distance
literally
and grab that civilian.
inclusive. Connie
So-
was a lesbian.
Blackout ability in a lot of ways feels like a very important component of
Still doesn't
Michael's
mean we have
kit.
to be represented in everything. It's honestly
How
kind of
can players
bothersome
use
that
this? Outside of what we talked about,
LGBTQ
and
has to
then
be in
how
everything
can
by other
Michael use
community
this,
members.
again,
It also
as a
annoys other
killer
people
who's
as well in the
known
community.
for not known for his speed? How can he use this to kind of like keep that pressure on civilians?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you covered a lot of it, and we've
I
shown
thought
a
we
lot
were
of
talking
it.
about the
It's
damn
got a
game
lot of
features.
uses
What
to
happened?
deter and prevent. And I think one thing that a lot of people have
Oh my
kind of caught
gosh.
on to, if you're kind of reading between
Thanks
the
for the
lines here,
follow,
is
Bruno.
blackout is that it gives you an extra chance to get into shape jump and get in and out of shape jump. It provides that moment where you're shutting
oh my
off
gosh, look at
everything
the
around you, and
lunchbox. It's so cute.
giving yourself the opportunity to get away or slip back and forth to really surprise people. So having the ability to shut the doors and kind of catch people off guard with that, like being able to hit the car in its
Michael
vicinity,
better get off
there's
of my
just a lot of
chick.
ways that allow you to use it, and then in combo with some of these other
Oh,
abilities
he
to
made
really
the
make
door
those moments
close.
happen, while
Oh
not being
hell,
super.
bro!
It's
I'm not
one of
playing
those ones that's not
civilian.
super offensive to the characters.
I'm
Got
not
its
playing
it's got its
civilian.
utility, and it's been
He
really
can
fun to
make the
use in
door
these
close.
different ways. And honestly, there's always new
That's fucking
things that
terrifying.
people discover when games like this, and we take a more sandbox approach. There begins to become moments and instances that
Nah,
are
fuck
there
that
and
shit.
working, but aren't always fully
I know
revealed
it's
to
just like the little
our
thermos and
gameplay yet.
the
So I'm excited
lunchbox
to
is
see
cute.
what that holds for us.
Yeah, calling back to some of our previous examples, in the scenario with detection pulse and shape jump, let's say those lights are on and your blackout ability is not on cooldown, you can create openings and opportunities to get inside these houses as well. And then civilians, they'll know when it's going off, and that will create that kind of fear and that panic because they know Michael can be anywhere at this stage now. And I think that's a really great piece
So how
of this
the
kit.
fuck am I supposed to be safe if he could just close the damn door?
I hate to be a tease, but I mean,
You
not
don't
really.
hate to be a tease. You love
Hate
No,
to
not
be
at
a
all. I love it. I
tease.
lavish in it. We've only shown a portion of Michael's kit thus far. We've shown, in my eyes, a pretty strong suite of his abilities, but
So
there
what was
are
she
a lot
supposed to
more
do? Run
options
up the
for
stairs and
players
jump
that are
out the
gonna be
window?
available at launch that can really help you
Like
customize
pull a
how you
big
want
back
to play
like
Michael,
Anna?
and we're excited to show those at a later date.
So you guys aren't even showing
So
us what
Jordan,
you're talking about.
Michael's looking pretty strong, right? He's looking like a force of nature. We've
They're about to
shown
talk
that
about
civilians can
civilians.
fight back. They can get weapons. They can get guns. They can combat Michael. But it seems like maybe the deck is stacked against them a little bit because his kit is
Please
strong.
tell us what we can do because this
But we
is
did
not
want to
looking good.
introduce
The hell is this?
this concept of mysterious items in this world
What the
and
hell
in
is
these play
this?
spaces, which will give civilians
What the
a
fuck is
chance
this?
to fight
You
back.
can get a crystal and hold
Michael's
it up to
seemingly
him.
overwhelming power. Jordan, do you want
You
to
can
talk a little
hypnotize
bit
him.
about what these mean? And I know we are intentionally keeping a lot of this secret until launch, just as a heads up. If you want more info ahead of launch, we're not really going to give it to you. But what can we talk about today when it comes to these mysterious items?
These are something that we're not giving a lot of info on because they're, like you'd said, they're purposely something we want people to explore and discover.
Then what the hell
They're
are you going to
rare,
give us
and
info
they're
on?
things
Because
that
I
will
don't
appear in
feel
the loot
safe
pool
as a civilian right
and
now.
do things that
Like, at all.
might affect Michael a little
Even
bit
if
more
I'm
than a
being
regular
stealthy.
household item. It's just something that we want people to discover and find
So
out
why
about,
are we
because
here?
there's moments and instances where these may save you
We
and
have
your
these things, but we're
friends
gonna tell you guys about them later.
imminent death, and we wanted to make sure those opportunities existed beyond just what you're fully capable of doing with all the other items. So it throws a little bit of an extra wrench
They
in
need to talk
Michael's
about the
gears,
weed.
and we were excited for people to explore what these do.
Yeah, when it comes to our randomized loot pools, I think items like this kind of really incentivize you to check every nook and cranny, because there is a chance you can get an item like this, and an item like this could literally be the difference between life and death in the game. So super excited about that. Next up, we have our community
I guess.
Q&A. But before we dive into all of that, I do want to take a quick second to just touch on some pre-order information, recap the different editions, and touch on some frequently asked questions about the different versions. So let's dive into that real quick. Halloween the Game is launching on September 8th, 2026 on Xbox Series X and S.
Once again,
PS5,
2 days
Steam,
before
and
my
Epic Game
birthday.
Store. Pre-orders for the digital edition are available now. If you pre-order the standard edition of the game, you get that awesome animated Phantom Michael Myers skin. We also have a digital deluxe edition available, which gets you that Phantom Michael Myers skin, the inmate Michael Myers skin, and Richard and Alexis. So some things I do want to touch on when it comes to the digital deluxe edition. There will be an upgrade available at launch as well.
Why do you say that, Nock?
Inmate, Richard, and Alexis are exclusive to that version. So you will either need to pre-order the digital deluxe edition or buy the digital deluxe edition at launch to get those characters. Phantom Michael Myers is a digital pre-order exclusive. Just wanted to reiterate that and confirm that that will not be available post-launch. And that is a digital pre-order exclusive. So that's not something that is going to be available post-launch. That is an incentive and a reward for the people supporting the game on day one. We also have, more recently we announced, arguably for some people who want to play this game as soon as possible, the most important part of the digital deluxe edition upgrade is early access to the game starting on September 4th at 9 a.m. Next up, we have some physical editions. Last week, we unveiled our physical editions for Halloween the Game that will be coming a little bit later in the year.
Kind of smart
They're
though,
launching on October 6th.
Because if you want to get everything, you have to get the digital and the physical.
Xbox Series X. That includes a game poster, that includes the game disc, and it includes advanced access to the Michael Myers clown skin and 2 civilian cosmetics. Just to clarify on the advanced access and what that means, that essentially means you get instant access to these skins. Players who do not purchase this can still earn those skins in-game by completing challenges.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And we also have a limited collector's edition. And I will emphasize the limited portion of this because, as we've seen from the conversations online, yes, people have been very excited about this. And this includes everything you see on the screen here, the game disc, a collector's box, the shape jump figure, some posters, advanced access to a few other skins. When it comes to availability on this, it is limited, so you'll need to kind of check retailer availability on that front. But again, I will reiterate again that it is very limited. So just a heads up there. All right, Jordan, the community Q&A of our developer Q&A stream has finally come. So a few weeks ago, we put out a call to the community to get all your burning questions.
Are they actually going to answer the questions though, or are they going to be like, we can't say anything? Socials,
and we had hundreds of responses. So huge shout out to everyone who dropped those questions. There were a lot to kind of go through. Previous sections of the stream, we feel touched on a lot of those questions, but at the end here, we did want to touch on some other
sit here in
burning
Canada,
questions
please.
from the community. So let's get into it. First question from Pat My Kitty X. Will we get a Discord server?
Pat My Kitty.
We are launching the Halloween the Game official Discord server on July 22nd.
Pat My Kitty.
Keep your eyes on our socials for the official announcement there and a link to join that Discord. Next up, can we expect a content roadmap at launch, asks Haunt night. So right now we are focused on kind of stressing and showcasing what is available in this game on day
Gun
one.
already has a portion of like a
Jordan has
Halloween
touched on
channel in
previous
their
interviews, and
Discord.
we've mentioned that yes, we
But I
do
guess they
have
mean
a
like a
very exciting
dedicated
slate
Halloween
of content
Discord.
planned for after launch, but we are not going to be discussing that until a little bit later and closer to launch. So appreciate that. We will have more details to share in the future. Importance No 1608 asks, will there be a beta? Unfortunately, no. We do not have plans for a beta at this time. All right, Jordan. We have a question here from Acceptable
late
Wear
for a beta.
4340 that
The
says,
game comes out
how
in like
important is
a
maintaining
month.
continuity going to be with future cosmetics in terms of style and tone?
Well, obviously a little over.
You want me to answer this one? Is that what you meant by that?
I can take it if you want.
No, I got it. It just had your logo, your
They're
name
not
next
gonna
to the thing.
be.
Anyway,
They're not
to
gonna. They're
not
gonna go
distract
all
you too
out.
much longer, I kind
Look
of
at the
mentioned it
Michael
before,
skin.
but there needs to be, a
He has a
strike a
clown
really
skin.
good balance between the period accuracy, franchise authenticity, and making sure we're leaning into player expression. We want people to be,
Yeah, I think they're
very
gonna
excited
be
about any of
time
the
accurate,
cosmetics we
but
have, and that's a big part of making cosmetics for games.
that's about
So
it.
that's where we're gonna go with.
Absolutely. That's the ultimate goal, is
And
making
it's
people
Halloween, so they
excited
can
about
do
how
some
they
crazy
look in the
stuff,
game.
like costume wise. So
Plenty Photograph 4
I
asks,
was wondering
will the
this
face of
too.
Michael Myers on the inmate outfit be blurry like the pre-order images, or are you guys waiting to reveal what his face will look like? The face of Michael Myers will remain blurred throughout the story mode and
That's
when you use
cool.
that skin in multiplayer. So we are not, you're not going to see his face. That is representative of what it's going to look like in game.
That's cool.
Jordan, Zach Rods asks, what kind of play style are you hoping to make the game for? Casual or competitive, or a mix of both?
What a great question. There's a long, lengthy answer to this. I'll try not to yap too much about it. But
go ahead and yap.
ultimately,
it's fine.
yeah, ultimately, I think the focus and the approach is casual. Like, there's something
Good.
to what this game is on the form of a social
Because we
and
do not need people rushing and shit.
matchmaking experiences around
Like in
interacting with other
TCN.
people, having fun, like having those encounters. But we also want to make sure that we're balancing and making all of our gameplay fit for people that want to sweat and like have those moments where they go back and forth. But we don't want that intruding into and building a situation where people that are just trying to enjoy the game are getting completely overshadowed by people that really have a lot of different pieces of knowledge of the game, as well as just stacking in certain directions. That's why I kind of mentioned the perks being a bit more casualized in our
No, there's not
approaches.
a
We didn't
ranked
want to
mode.
create a situation that was fully reliant on people's decision making process to build these very specific things, more so giving them the tools to play the game and find those variations and nuance. So it's much more about a casualized experience that leans into the horror, that leans into the jump scares, leans into the matches unfolding in fun and interesting ways, and then also having just a robust approach to every feature we have that allows the more competitive people to find those little nuances of killer skill and civilian skill, so that they can have those moments they can only survive based on the fact that they've built up those skills for. So it's a blend, but I'm gonna say we're leaning more casual, and I wanna preface as well that like we're watching everything. Like we will never hope to garner and gain the sample size needed to do anything huge right now, but the second it's out there in the wild and people are playing and there's more just minds at work,
What? No.
discovering all the possible combinations of gameplay, we're never gonna really be able to hit that until the game is out there, and from there it's about analyzing what's happening, understanding the issues, understanding anything that we need to balance back into place to kind of fit what I've been talking about, but also reading the community feedback. There's a period of marination time that happens for any kind of multiplayer games update or launch that you need to be very careful about not going too quickly into it, because some of it is learning the game, learning the maps, learning the routes that you take and the locations that you go to collect loot, and until that's fully kind of in a general state for the population, you're not getting a real accurate representation of the balance. So excuse me, we're going to be watching closely. We're going to be making adjustments accordingly, and we're going to be keeping all feedback in mind as we do so. And I want to make sure any updates that we do make in the future, off of this kind of initial balance pass and what we release, is very much transparent as to why we're making the choices, because there's so many. Sorry, I've been talking a lot.
Questions
So
not answered,
throat's
Cameron.
not being kind to me, but there's so many different choices to make, and we want to make sure that as we're making those, it makes sense, it has a reason, it's doing something that's bringing us back to the core of what we're trying to accomplish. So it's a very in-depth and nuanced thing, and the reason I'm saying these things is because the people that really care, I want you to know that we're ready to react, and we've built a better infrastructure than any that we've had in the past for getting updates out and making sure that we're addressing things. We also have
Y'all
on
are killing
Miles'
me.
side a much more robust community interaction process and gathering of stats and things that really help us as we're making those decisions, including all the back end data gathering and charts and all the boring data things that give us a sense of where things are at. Don't want to fully rely on those because this is video games and it's about there is some feel here. So there's a lot going on here, and I apologize for going long on this, but it's very important, including kind of what we'll talk about in this next question as well.
Yeah, no, it's very important, and we had a lot of conversations very early on in this project about, you know, that foundation and how do we build a foundation that allows us to implement and adjust based on player feedback, based on how we feel. I don't want to say more rapidly, because as you touched on, we want to give appropriate time to these decisions and make sure these decisions are the right decisions for the game. But that foundation for us is so much stronger, and I think that's going to make the kind of relationship between how we update and message much more streamlined this time around. So we're all very excited about, you know, getting this out in the wild and having those conversations with the community.
Yep, exactly.
And the next question, this is a big one. This is a big one in this genre.
The last time.
Oh yeah, you got some yapping to do, mister. All right, this comes from Death
he's
Cube
really about to be
K318.
clearing his throat.
How do you plan to combat the threat of bully squads?
That's a good question. Let's hear it.
Bully squads, Jordan. People love
it.
How are we stopping? How are we shutting
them down?
They're
talking about TCM.
It's a fun one because, you know, this the challenging part about building a sandbox is, like, there's not a wrong way to play it. Like, you can't tell people, especially people that are playing online, no, you can't play this way. It's all got to work. So I took this one on myself very early on as we were designing the combat systems, as we were designing the character status effect systems and ability systems. There's an emphasis on understanding the, like, solidity and the pacing, as well as the countermeasures that we need to be able to have in place to be able to give the players the opportunity to go all out and not restrict them from doing anything, but allowing Michael to rise to the occasion, quite literally in some circumstances. But the bullying thing is there's just it's an unavoidable thing, but through our general infrastructure that we built of the game itself, the design practices we put in place around the game mode itself, implementation of NPCs, there are situations where there's a lot of NPCs that can exist. Like, you can get cops and get people to follow you. So there was always going to be the fact that there's a lot to carve through for Michael, and in some circumstances a lot in one place. So we made sure that he was given abilities that counteract that. You know, reality tear was a big part of it. It's a very easy get out of jail free type
Well,
of
this game
situation.
shut down
But we
like
also have certain
F13 and
measures that are in place
TCM.
around pacing out the downing. Like I know we have bloodthirst that kind of gives him the strength over time, but when we're talking about people that are like, in this game, they're going to be trying to detain him. We need to make sure that's a little bit more difficult than just it being a thing that you can do. It's got to have those steps of knocking him down so many times and making sure you have an authority figure, whether that be a cop or Loomis, and then having to play a mini game in order to get him before he gets back up. There's layers there that happen. So making sure that's difficult to access relies on a very favorable RNG of what you're finding and what you're gathering, perks that you're getting. There's moments that'll open up and be possible, but we really want to deter that early on. When you're trying it, it's a risky proposition. Michael needs to be powerful in this game, and I'm excited to see the balance come out, because death and losing to and dying is just part of the process here. Like Michael Myers is just he's so strong, like, and that is an important aspect of truly fearing him. So all of these pieces that I've kind of described, as well as just a more robust combat system, the different melee things that we have in place to pace out and detect connections and make sure that we're pacing out some of the stunning and crowd control elements. There's a lot of things that need to kind of dissipate when you're constantly trying to smack against them versus getting them
Oh,
down
what
and
the
then fleeing.
hell?
That's the right thing to do. If you try and stick around, the idea is that you're done for. So that's what we're going to lean into, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure all these numbers are in the right place, and people are going to try really hard to go against it. And of course, just because it's that type of experience, but I want to. I feel confident that we're ready to make this a lot more nuanced in how it's being done, and give Michael the power he deserves, so that he doesn't feel like he's worried to go against people. Like that should never be the thing. A killer in this should be Michael Myers should be powerful and know that if I'm approaching this and I'm doing the right
Yes.
things, I'm going to get them. If they try and come and group up and attack me,
The
I'm going
hell
to
are
have
you
things at my
doing?
disposal to combat that and make sure I can take care of them or move on, go elsewhere, and clean up the rest of the objectives while they're screwing around. So I've taken this one on as something I really want to push on and get into a good feeling place,
That
and then
is,
be very
yeah,
very
roughly. That sounds
focused
like what
on
he's saying,
catching anything
honestly.
post launch, and making sure that we're aligning the balance of this entire game as well as this specific aspect to really embody a terrifying, powerful, and just ruthless Michael Myers.
Yeah, we want to ensure that Michael stays scary. And in a lot of our playtests, you can tell who's playing Michael a bit more because it starts to get really scary when they hone in on that kit and they start leveraging all of his different abilities and setting up these moments and putting
Yeah, fuck
pressure
that. I'm
and them
playing
using other
Michael.
abilities to get themselves out of sticky situations. There's a lot of tools at Michael's disposal to make sure that he's unpredictable and he's scary and he's powerful. And yeah, we are very aware of the kind of the previous history with bully squads, and I think people are going to be pretty excited about Michael's kit.
Yep.
Jordan, we have one more question for today's stream before we get on out of here. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who hung out live on twitch.tv/Ilphonic, everyone who submitted their questions. Again, everyone who's just been sharing all this energy and excitement for this game, because I think our team is very excited about what we're working on, and we need to get back to work on getting this thing ready to
Yeah,
rock
4
for launch.
questions is kind of
Do you have any
crazy.
parting words with our community before
4
we
questions
run
for a
this
Q&A
last
stream is kind of
question?
nuts. I agree with that
Excited for this
person.
last one. I
I
mean,
thought
yeah,
there was going to be
I've kind of
more.
touched on everything, but I'm excited. We're heads down over here, really doing everything we can to make sure
I
that what
understand they want to
launches
like
is going to
introduce like
be
the game and
just
like
just a really
everything, but
fun
like
experience on so
the
many
people
different
who are
levels,
interested in the
and
game
give
already
people
knew
a
all
lot to
that stuff for the
explore,
most part. So,
try to understand and unpack. There's so much. It's tough to cover it all, and I know it sounds like we're kind of running around on different things, but there's a lot here to process that will be just. I'm so excited for seeing people actually interacting, hearing the prox chat go off, like hearing people just have fun killing each other. It's just you can't I can't put words to kind of how that's gonna feel when we finally get there. So I'm excited. And
Yes, and
thank you
I see a
everyone
lot of
for seeing that the type of gameplay we're building and getting excited and knowing that the things that we're going to be able to do and the things you will be able to do in this game. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, and as Jordan touched on, I see some people in the chat asking about this. Yes, proximity chat will be in this game. We're very excited about its implementation. We know it's a fan favorite
They already
feature,
said
so
that
that will
like
be available.
before.
Yep.
These people haven't been paying
And
attention.
now, Jordan, our final question comes from Snow S54, and they ask, will Michael Myers be able to drive
if
cars
the answer to that is yes, that's
vehicles
fucking nuts.
in Halloween the game?
That's probably the most interesting
And for
thing.
this one, we're just gonna let the clip do the talking for us. Take care, everyone. Have a good afternoon, and we'll catch you next time.
Afternoon? It's nighttime in this bit. Oh, they're on Pacific coast. He can drive cars? That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. What is he gonna be doing? Running people over? That's crazy. Well, okay, well, that was a cool ending. No, I don't think they said anything about proximity chat in the stream. But like I'm pretty sure that was like announced like in their other videos and stuff. That is cool that he can drive though. That's interesting. That's gonna be crazy though, because you're gonna see somebody in a car, you're not even gonna know who the hell's in there. Like it could be another civilian or it could be Michael coming to run your ass over. But that's cool. Somebody said no LGBT crap. Okay, everybody's in the chat like saying crazy stuff. Well, that was interesting. What are you guys' thoughts? What's everybody's thoughts? I feel like they didn't touch on enough stuff, personally. I feel like they didn't touch on enough stuff. I feel like, and I'm comparing them to Gun because they're usually in close proximity to Gun. I feel like they should have let Gun do the live stream. Like Gun is they're just better at live streams than what I saw just now. Like they go into detail about the features, why they chose the features that they did, why they picked certain features over other ones that they could have chosen. Like it just gets super interesting. But I don't feel like they did that. Indubitably. Michael pulling up and saying, get in, loser, we're going shopping. Yes, Lynette, it is. You do support Gun Media, but you're not too excited for the new Halloween game. I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm not as excited for this as I was TCM or Friday the 13th. But I guess we'll see. But I'm not as excited. And this stream didn't make me that much more excited either, to be fair. So, I don't know. We'll see. I wish that would happen too, Lynette. I wish that was the case too. And I've thought about that. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But never say never. But I will say, even though Gun dropped the ball, or their developers, what are they called? Black Tower, whatever. I think Black Tower is the reason TCM ended, not Gun. Gun just tried to cover for them and didn't want to throw them under the bus. Because Wes Keltner, the CEO of Gun, has been going around doing like interviews and he kind of like alluded to that. But honestly, I feel like if somebody took over TCM, even though Gun or whoever dropped the ball, I just don't feel like they would be able to do it justice the way Gun. Like it wouldn't feel the same. Like Gun has a bad rap for like or a bad rep for like the stuff that they do or like how their games have like ended. But their games are good. Their asymmetrical horror games are fantastic and I don't think anybody else would be able to do it like them personally. Yeah, Bow Wow saying hi. He was being mean earlier, but I mean, that's him. A24. Yeah, the director of Obsession is the one that's doing the next TCM movie, so that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not feeling super hype over this. But I'm still gonna play the game, obviously, but I just feel like I thought I was gonna get more information. But I feel like I just walked away with kind of knowing the same things. Like, the only new things I got from this is he can go through walls, which I think they had already shown that before too. Um, we had already kind of seen the closet thing. The car thing was interesting. The cosmetics and the ability to have like a profile banner and like emblem was cool. But I mean, like, outside of that, I don't feel like I learned anything new personally. Hopefully you guys learned something though. But with that being said, we're gonna jump into RimWorld, and I was gonna just jump into it right after, but I think I'm gonna jump into it at like 7:45 my time. So it's 7:25 right now. So in like 20 minutes, we'll jump into RimWorld, or I might just keep it at the same time. Actually, I'm gonna keep it at 8. I think that'll be better. That way, I'm back on time. Probably gonna get some food and eat something. But for those of you on YouTube, it's gonna push you over to the RimWorld stream anyways. But I mean, you could just always just click on it yourself. So we'll be jumping into the new RimWorld save. Oh, that's gonna be something. That's gonna be something. But I will see you guys then. You can see Lynette's messages now. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube because you guys like none of your messages were showing up on YouTube. I don't know why. It's showing up on my streaming program though. Like it shows up on the screen, but it's and in my chat on my streaming program, but it is not showing up in the actual YouTube chat. It's very weird. Um but yeah, I'll see you guys at 8. I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes and then we'll jump into this new RimWorld save. That should be quite interesting. I'll see you guys then. Bye.